So thank you. So, bore da pawb. Good morning, everybody. So, I'm representing 4 police services in Wales. So just so that you know there's 4 police services in Wales, I'm just going to highlight who they are. So it's Dyfed-Powys, South Wales, Gwent and North Wales Police. So that's the Welsh contingent. Are there any police services present today? Excellent. And what service are you from?
Thanks, Hands and Hearts.
Brilliant. There's a collaboration there.
Yeah.
And any others? Can you hear me at the back? Shout out a bit more? Okay, thank you. So any other police services? We've got 1 collaboration. Okay, so there's 2 collaborations. So I'm with a family here. So that's excellent. So what I wanted to do today is just show you how we worked together in Wales with Oleeo, why we chose Oleeo, and perhaps some of the efficiencies that we actually developed. This is only the recruitment process. I'm going to focus on the police officer recruitment process, but we have implemented, since the design, we've implemented ourselves the police staff, the police community support officers, and the special constabulary. So we have progressed a lot further. Whoops. Okay. So just looking back, when we talked about introducing things to the police service in a collaborative way, we would like to say in Wales it was our idea, but really it came from a vision from the National Police Chiefs Council, a vision for policing, and we've been given a time frame within by 2025. And looking at those items below, one of the things that we needed to do, most importantly, was the attraction and recruitment into the police service. And that's become even more relevant now with the uplift, as you've seen from the government, with the extra 20,000 police officers. So there's a big push on police services to streamline and to be able to bring in this volume of police officers. So for Wales, that meant only an extra for the first year, 302. And I'd be glad to report that we're on target already. And I'd like to say that's down to the efficiency of the Oleeo platform and the recruiters within Wales. So challenges, many challenges in policing. One of the challenges I first had when I was seconded is one, why me? So I was seconded from Dyfed-Powys Police into the All Wales process to be able to bring in this platform. We bought 1 platform. It wasn't that we couldn't afford to buy 4. It was that we wanted to buy 1 platform for Wales and be able to slice it 4 ways so that we could introduce 4 different police services onto streamlining the recruitment and attraction. So that gave us the savings that were required. And in police services, we've been having cost reduction since 2010. So it was more of a cost-efficient way, but also gave us an opportunity to look at all our processes in Wales and do 1 process. And that isn't easy as it sounds, but it was really something that we got together and we did. We had the support of 4 chief constables, 4 police and crime commissioners, and the HR and L&D community underneath. What we did when we looked at the processes is that we actually looked at the best from each of the 4 forces. We've got national standards in policing, so we have a certain way of doing things, but for that, there is still 43 different ways. So in Wales, we've got 1 way now. And that has meant that for every candidate that applies to the police service in Wales, they have the same process. And that means also that if somebody applied to Dyfed-Powys Police, but then wanted to transfer to South Wales Police, because it's 1 platform, we can just transfer the candidate. Really efficient. The candidate experience was at the top of what we were doing when we actually implemented Oleeo. When we looked at innovation and not elimination, we said we didn't want to eliminate the best things that we had in our process, but we wanted to think big. We wanted to do things in Wales that were slightly different. We also had the challenge that everything that we did had to be bilingual. So we needed to make sure that we were efficient in both languages and that there was consistency and the same experience for our candidates in both languages of choice. So when we looked at innovation, we looked at how are we going to streamline and introduce a very swift way for our candidate. Our attraction level is huge, believe it or not, in Wales. So we are not short of candidates applying for the police service, and we are not short of some of our candidates wanting to wait for our openings as well. So we do have an attractive market, but we wanted to make sure that it was swift. And I'll show you a little bit later in my slides that we actually reduced from 8 weeks in our recruitment process to the fastest is 56 minutes. And that is because, and it's true, that's from applicant to assessment centre ready. So for my colleagues here from the collaboration, you know that search assessment centre or day one does take longer. But what we wanted to do is we were absolutely focusing on the candidate experience. And you talked yourself in your presentation is that why would they want to come to Wales? Why would they want to choose us as a police service and over other police services? So we wanted to make sure that when they chose us, that they had the best experience we possibly could make it. So we also, to add to the complexity of the challenges of the innovation, we chose at the time to be a lead force for the new degree and apprenticeship programme for policing. So it was another challenge brought in when we were designing a platform. So we've got the Police Education and Qualification Framework, which professionalises the police service to have a degree level for our new entrants. So we had to be able to test people that they had the academic ability and actually satisfy our partner agencies called the Higher Education Institutions in Wales. So we had different partners to actually satisfy as well. So through Oleeo, we had a testing method for people who actually wanted to come in and didn't have a degree or a level 3 qualification, and we integrated that solution into Oleeo. So that was a really innovative way. And another innovative way was when we came to behavioural style tests, instead of somebody doing a competency-based questionnaire, which is a national requirement in policing, we did it automatically through the platform. And we built in things that people could take their time, they do it in their own time, they do it in their own location, and they can do it from their handheld devices or their work laptops or their private laptops. So that was our innovation, and we thought that as recruiters before we even designed our platform. So we were drawing it all out of what we would love to be able to do and what we were directed to do by the national recruitment standards. So we are confined within certain things. And of course, cultural change. We had a lot of people challenging, why are we changing? We've always done it this way. And to be honest, it really works. Well, it did work, but we'd run out of cupboards, really, to keep all this paperwork in. So we did need to be innovative and we did need to change. So cultural change is really difficult and it takes a lot of time, and we really needed to invest. And of course, when we've rolled out the police staff, for the first time in a lot of my Welsh forces, line managers have had to do a lot of contribution to the recruitment process. So that's taken time and support for line managers. So cultural change. Again, with unions, they could have thought that we were losing jobs by automation. That's another concern. But my chief officers were very supportive and said we will not be reducing headcount and we're not doing a relocation. What happened when we designed our platform is that it's a platform, but it's virtually run in for the forces. So we didn't lose headcount. We've had natural wastage, and we may not have replaced, but we would have put resources in other areas. And we've actually not, when we talk about centralisation, we've not brought a team into the centre of Wales. They stayed where they were. And collaboration maturity. We've been collaborating in Wales for about 15 years. We collaborate on all sorts of things with our private sector, our public sector, and our police services, and we really enjoy working with each other. So when we've been able to bring in the Oleeo platform for Wales, it was really about bringing in great relationships, getting people around the table, getting commitment, getting support, and really getting the family, as we call ourselves, the Team Wales, together to be able to do this work. And I think it's the relationships that has meant that we implemented Oleeo in 3.5 months, and that was because of the commitment of everybody who actually did it. And just so you don't so you have an understanding, it wasn't a huge team. We were 8 people, and we did it in 3.5 months, including procuring off the G-Cloud framework. And we've got to implement into 3 different HR solutions and a duty sheet for the special constabulary. So we had one heck of a challenge on. So without the commitment of all Wales and the friendships and the commitment of our chief officer group, then I don't think we would be where we are today. So if I look at the cost savings and cost benefits, I've put a slide in for you to see what our application process costs were before, and it'll come up shortly for you to have a look, and how much by introducing the Oleeo system we actually saved. And what I've costed just on that slide, so you're aware, is just the police officer process. We've got the police staff, the police community support officer, and the special constabulary to cost as well. But it was never a factor in driving our implementation. It was a natural benefit that you will all see if you do this work. So consistent and streamlining the process, I put it in there because it was such a hard job to do. When you're trying to get 4 forces to agree that they will give on some things and accept others, it's not as easy as getting everybody around a table and saying we're going to be doing this. Because like I said, they've always done it their way. So when I said there was one way for Wales, that was really important that they all agreed that. Because what happens after you implement is if they haven't agreed it, they only build other systems around it and do it the way they wanted to do it. So it was really important that they bought in. The attraction and the candidate commitment, we've got to make sure that we keep the candidates informed at all times. And that's why when we built Oleeo, we made sure we had the trigger points that went out and kept people warm, as we call it. We've also, since launching, undertaken the talent engagement to a certain extent, and we called it the expressions of interest form for us. So when we had Uplift launched by the government on the 5th of September, some of my forces weren't recruiting. So we did an expressions of interest form, and we've trained staff up. It's free for you to do as well, and you put it in your contract. We trained our staff up to a configuration level 3, so they can design things themselves. So one of our team actually designed the expressions of interest form in a day. We put it on the platform, and in a fortnight of running that campaign, because we weren't open, 690 people expressed an interest. So we are not short of attraction. What we are short of, and I'll explain a little bit later, is the diversity, and I'll explain why and what we're doing for that as well. And I know it's been highlighted in a few people's slides. But we are not short of people wanting to come to Wales and work with us. And I think it's the beautiful landscape, the crime, with the best police service in the UK. You know, I think it's the small things like that. When I talk about the positive action, we recognise we're not the best. We've tried many different techniques, and South Wales do it particularly well. They've got 2.74% of their workforce from the BAME community. But other areas, such as Dyfed-Powys, find it really difficult because the communities in South Wales' area are trying to attract across the border. So we've got an event on the 30th of October where I'm bringing everybody in from the positive action teams and then working with the community members to try and look at innovative ways. We've tried social media, we've tried a number of really innovative ways, but we're still not getting the attraction level. So we've got a lot of work on that. And I think the statistical data that runs off from Oleeo really helps us. What we did during our process is we looked at a quality impact assessment throughout our process, and we have no adverse impact once somebody comes into our process, but getting them into our process is really difficult. We're running another quality impact assessment now this month, so we'll be able to see more data because we've run so many more campaigns. But that is our area of great improvement. And the final one is shared resources. What we find and what we have is that because we've got one platform and we've split this cake, as I call it, into 4 slices, we can run a recruitment campaign for each other if we need to. So people can not perhaps look after one particular campaign and another force can do it for them. Or if somebody goes on leave, the candidate can still have the facilities from another force. So we share our resources all the time. And what that's meant is that we have things like CPD days, which we've got next Wednesday, and Ahmed, our consultants, come in. So we process improve together. We do things for each other. I can look at the candidates in Gwent or North Wales or South Wales if anybody's struggling. So we work for each other. So we don't compete with each other. So if somebody's got a difficult situation on the platform, we can remotely go in and help and support that recruitment team. And that's how we work in Wales. So, like I said, the attraction levels, we're not huge recruiters. You know, I need small numbers in Wales. Like Dyfed-Powys probably only needs about 50. Gwent needs 50 and North Wales need 50 a year. More with the uplift, we've doubled. And South Wales will need about 250. But look at the attraction levels we're getting. So we have a SIFT process that tries to take it down by 30%. So on average, in our recruitment, we have more people on our success list than we need. So what we're able to do is we're able to keep them warm in our pool, and also we're able to share them throughout Wales. So if, for example, Gwent are short of applicants and South Wales have a surplus, because we're on one platform, we can move them across and the candidate doesn't have to rekey. So that's really useful for us. So we're trying to think of it like a university clearing system. Of course, the candidate, if they live in Swansea, may not want to go to Welsh or may not want to go to Conwy, but it's an opportunity if they want to join the Police Service of Wales. So what we have achieved, the All Wales Recruitment Platform's been launched. It was launched 18 months ago now. Seems like a lifetime, really. But we've also now, like I said, brought on other processes. When we talked about blind screening, we don't actually get to know who you are until you get to the assessment centre booking. And that's because everything is launched through your national insurance number on our system. So that the tests are outside our system. The candidate doesn't realise that, but it goes outside and comes back in, and we get the results. So nobody can actually, I'm sure, you know, we get to the assessment centre and we know who you are because you turn up and you accept your offer online. We've improved the police officer recruitment process. We're really fortunate. We've been recognised for awards, never won, but we've been recognised for awards for our improved process. We're really chuffed with that. We've launched, as I said, the police officers special, police staff and police community support officers. We're doing volunteers and police support volunteers and cadets shortly. And overall, we've improved the recruitment process. So, like I said, back in the old days, and we can remember it well, this is what life was like. It would take the advert. We couldn't do anything until it shut once upon a time. And then we shortlisted it, and we looked at pre-eligibility criteria. Those are mandated by the College of Policing. A CBQ is the competency-based questionnaire. People would fill in questions at the back of our application form. We'd send it off. It would cost us £7.50 every application, so for £34,500 repeat. And it'd take a week for us to invite them, because remember posting it out or emailing it out? Now it takes us less than 1 hour to do, at the best. Candidates will still take the period that your advert is open, because you'll always have people who take a longer period, and I'll show you what they take on average, but that's our fastest. And what we've designed our process to do is, if you were successful at one part of our application process previously and have failed on perhaps the search assessment centre, if you reapply, those things that you were successful on don't open again. So you don't do repeat tests, you don't do repeat application process. You update your application, but if it's been successful on one occasion, it's successful. If you're a special constable, which is our volunteer service, and you join the regulars, things that you've already tested on don't open again. Okay, so it's quick. You can become from special to a regular on the application process in 20 minutes. So you only get an invite to an assessment centre. We're doing the same where we can merge our platform information for each of our processes. That's what we're doing. So just a little bit of evidence, because in policing we love a little bit of evidence. So this is how long it was and how quick it was. So at the moment, in the lead is Dyfed-Powys Police. Gwent Police, sorry, in the lead there with 56 minutes. And what happened there for it to be so successful is a previous applicant had applied to South Wales, and then when they applied to Gwent, it was really much quicker. So, but on average, if we're open for 2 weeks, a candidate will take 2 weeks. If we're open for a week, they will take a week. Or if we're open for, on average, they've taken 9 days. We don't know why the magic number is 9 days, but that's what happens. So, and then there's the average we just put down for you. All that data and statistics comes out of Oleeo. So that's what we look like. Police Jobs Wales. All our emails go out from No Reply Police Jobs Wales, and we've bought the website domain now called Police Jobs Wales and the Welsh equivalent. So we've been marketing our link through that. Benefit realisation. So this is what it used to cost us, and this is what it costs us now. So we saw massive savings, and you'll see that Dyfed-Powys made the least savings, and that's because my force has been automated for 10 years, but we still were able to improve. So continuous professional development, our continuous improvement, we are always trying to improve. We can't say we've got it right at all. Core vet, for all of you who are not in police services, we've got a huge vetting requirement to join the police service, and many forces, all of Wales have now got a facility called Core Vet, which is a private company, and we feel that we could even improve our process further if we could integrate with our solution. So that would mean really being able to vet for Wales, being able to look at people who want to move from one role to another role, being vetted quicker, and obviously shortening the recruitment process. So we're developing for cadets, volunteers, and what we'd like to be able to see in the future is you may join as a cadet, which are the under-18s, perhaps become a special constable, perhaps become a police officer, PCSO or police staff, and we'll be able to track your journey through Oleeo and be able to, through that, be able to look at the skill sets and obviously be able to look at a whole path. With transferee processes, what we're developing is that you can transfer in Wales quite easily. At the moment, it's a whole recruitment process again, but we said once we've got your data in Oleeo, why can't you just transfer it over to a different force? So you can be a police officer in one force one day. It will take longer than a day, and then transfer into another force. Enhanced reporting, I was really interested to see what Oleeo can present with the enhanced reporting. We've got great reports now, but getting more data for our strategic level would be really useful. And although they're really excited with the Oleeo dashboard, I don't know if you're Oleeo clients, you see the dashboard. My teams are really excited about that, considering we used to have Excel spreadsheets. So the enhanced reporting will really be something that benefits us. Deep dives, what we're doing is we're getting our stakeholders back in the room, particularly our line managers, and seeing how we can improve the system. They've found the biggest change. They used to rely on recruitment doing everything before, and now they're doing an awful lot themselves. And a quality impact assessment, constantly looking at where the points of failure are and constantly looking at the data. That's what we've committed to do. So, lessons learned. By no means have we got it right. So, and what we said is we needed to think big. We did think big. We could have thought bigger. An example being, we felt we could have integrated further with workforce planning. So that's another area I'm looking at. I've got 13 projects running. So workforce planning is one and recruitment was the other one. So it does make a natural link over for recruitment, workforce planning, recruitment and demand in the police service. So where we place the officers. Constantly challenge the process, and what we've said is we get our teams back together constantly saying, how can we do it better? How can we make it more efficient? How can we help each other? So like I said, next week we've got a CPD day. That will be about challenging each other, and sometimes we're quite ruthless with why do you need to do something that way, and because we've always done it isn't an accepted answer. What I say, don't underestimate the task. It is huge. It's not as easy as everybody thinks. We bought an off-the-shelf package from Oleeo and made it bespoke. If I did my time again, I'd buy a bespoke. But it was a challenge, and I'm grateful to our consultant Ahmed for the help and support that he gave us. Be creative, and what we say there, don't get confined to what you think you need to do. Get the opportunity to just lay a paper down and actually design it from scratch, or if you want to do a chart on your computer, do that. But we were just drawing it, saying, if I was the candidate, what would I want? Go out and canvass your customers and really listen to what they have to say, because as soon as you start building in what they've suggested, then you really have great buy-in. Learn from others. Private sector, we pinched a lot. I Googled, and I don't know how many different recruitment applications I had out there. But just looking at their process, because some people are doing it amazingly well. And then share best practice. Don't keep it a secret. What we've done in Wales is, for policing, is that we've created a flow. And we've said to Ahmed and the team is that if another police service want to buy the system and want to use our flow, then let them have it. If they want to use our training manuals, let them have it. Why redesign something that we've already gone through? Because they will just use the time, thankfully, to improve it, and I'll benefit with it back. So that's our ethos in Wales. Just if you want it, ring Ahmed, I'll give it to you. So I think I have now Slido now.
Thank you very much, Tracy.